Anyone? Anyone else? Bea. Sorry, blindside. I'll look there next time. Oh yeah, Bea.
Yeah, actually. The question is there anything, like, all through my website or anything that's personal that I really want to stand by? I really stand behind compassion and understanding, and truly the theme of this year, which is dialogue and mutual understanding, which is why I think that I was given this role, because I get that. We have too much to do to get bogged down with our differences. We have to, and you all understand this because this is an international school, so I'm preaching to the choir, but we have to help other people to understand and realize that regardless of our religion, regardless of our socioeconomic status, regardless of our educational level, regardless of whether we have a house to live in, every single person on this planet deserves certain things, and ultimately we have to have compassion even for those that we don't understand, even for those that make us angry. Because there's things, it's not like I'm super, oh, nothing makes me mad. No, there's things that make me angry. You know, even hearing of gender inequality. When I said that to you, I'm saying it to myself, to remind myself that there's something bigger than just what we see, that ultimately we have to cultivate an attitude of compassion towards all human beings. And that's the one and only message that I can really stand behind.
Okay, there was one from this end. Okay, Kenneth.
Okay, I have two questions. They're kind of tangential, so bear with me. First of all, given that education shapes and helps create youth as they are,
Totally.
Yeah. What advice would you give to schools to help the youth or create a platform for youth?
Oh, great question.
Just to the school, not necessarily to the youth.
Okay, great. Well, I think first and foremost, we have to reevaluate how we perceive education. Because education happens in these walls, but education also happens before and after we leave these walls. So we are educated by what we put into ourselves. So if we go home and we are addicted to just watching music videos, we are being educated in a certain way. We are being educated by the literature we choose to pick up or don't choose to pick up. We are constantly being influenced, and I mean, if you think about just anytime something happens and it's on the cover of a magazine, whether you open that magazine or not, if you have a thought about what's on the cover of that magazine, you've been influenced or you've been altered in some way. Exactly. I think it's important that we monitor and become more discretionary as to what we allow in us, what we listen to, what we watch, who we talk to, who we associate ourselves with. And I don't know that it's the responsibility of our schools necessarily to do all of it for us, because school's a very limited time. And as we know, because there are so many people around the world who aren't even given the privilege of going to a school in a tent, the reality is that we learn what we can here, and then the rest of it we get out in the world. And the curriculum that's set in place may not include everything that you want to learn, but then it's your responsibility outside of that to supplement your education based on your passions, based on what you know to be your purpose, to become the well-rounded person that you know you can be. And as far as platforms go, and I promise you I don't mean to, it's not really self-promoting, but that's the purpose of Givimo, is that I saw that. I saw, wait a minute, where's the other information? Where's just like stuff that young people want to talk about? Because that's a part of your growth and development as well. How your body's going through changes, how to deal with social issues, how to deal with going to an international school, graduating, and then moving to a country where people don't even leave their own country. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with having parents that are overseas? How do you deal with having, you know, someone who's got mental illness, losing your parents, refugees, whatever? Like, these are all things that young people are experiencing all over the world, and there are more young people on this planet today than ever before. And you're growing up with social media, you're growing up with things that we still are trying to figure out and understand by the time you've already moved on to the next one. So Gimme Mo is a platform for you all to discuss those things, figure them out, and help me to better help, you know, serve the whole.
The youth. Okay, time for one more question. Is that right, Mr. Atkins?
Yeah, one more.
Okay, go on. Okay, JP's got one.
Well, the work that I'm doing is continuous. My role with the United Nations is for a year. Gimme Mo started in September of last year, and it is the movement for youth. This year, obviously the focus is the International Year of Youth, but my goal is to have a first of its kind of interactive talk show that happens on the internet, where people can where you can be literally Skyped in, where you can tweet and talk to your favorite celebrities, your favorite whatever, or experts and things like that about issues that are real. So it's like, you know, having Jay-Z on, but we're actually talking to him about, you know, his adolescence and what it was like when he was growing up and things like that. So, and then connecting people cross-culturally. That's my personal vision. For young people and for myself. How to get there, I'm not really sure because I'm here right now. So that's the big goal. This isn't like a temporary kind of, oh, it's a convenient year. It's truly my passion.
Okay, last question. You can pick the last question. I'm gonna get scrutinized if I pick the last question.
Oh goodness. There's a group here. There's a group there. I'm gonna go right here. It's like 6 hands are pointing towards the same person.
Okay, I love the question back there. Rebecca.
Maybe you can kind of wrap them into
one.
Right. Okay. Do your best.
The first question is: there's several issues that the United Nations are facing, and I was wondering which one you feel most passionate about, and which one stands out mostly to you. I mean, which one is like mostly stands out as like the most number one?
Can I answer that before? Because I'll forget the second one by the time you get. I mean, you know what I mean. I'll forget the first one. You'll start the second one, and I'll just be like, oh God, what did she say? I think that poverty, from what I'm starting to see and understand, is the root of a lot of the issues that young people are experiencing beyond that. The thing that I'm most passionate about as a human being is education. I'm just like so passionate about education, and specifically primary education, because those are your formative years, and what you learn at that age really does carry you through so much of your life. And so if you missed it, you do have to go back and make it up later. But what I'm growing into understanding is how much poverty really does shape our world. And what was your second and final question of the day?
Like you said earlier, the United Nations, what issues have students need help?
Okay. Last question of the day is, as students, what issues can you help? The answer, the ones closest to your heart. You cannot walk in someone else's shoes, you cannot do something because someone tells you have to do it close to your heart.
So at this point, I'd like to call on Mr. Hyman, Mr. Atkins, to present a couple of things to Ms. Coleman. And Clarice Coqueco as well, to present a little something. Ms. Coleman, here you go.
Ms. Coleman, we could not be more impressed with the United Nations has chosen. You are an incredibly articulate, passionate representative, and we are blessed that you have been with us today. Thank you very much. On behalf of Brent, a couple of things. Yeah. We have a Brent hoodie. We have a certificate of appreciation to Ms. Monique Coleman, first ever United Nations Youth Champion for the inspirational message. That's for you, and we have some flowers. Very typical Philippine thank you.